Hi, this is Neil Gold again from Goldcrest Wallcovering, and this is our section that we wanted to give you in regard to measuring and estimating wall covering for a job. What I'd like to tell you right now is how to convert square feet into lineal yards and some rule of thumbs that you should know. First of all, once you get your square footage, your calculation for the horizontal around the room wall sections, all measured horizontal to the floor, you write that down on your estimating clipboard. Then you also get your ceiling height, the distance between the floor and the ceiling. Sometimes I might use an extra quarter of an inch or a half of an inch. So if it's an 8-foot ceiling, I might have 8 feet and maybe a quarter inch or a half inch. Multiply them into each other, you come up with a square footage number. Now remember, what we're trying to do is have enough yardage to do the job and then have a little bit extra to cover the contractor in case he makes a mistake, and or have a little bit extra for the owners of the property so that years from now, even after this particular color number and pattern number might be discontinued, he'll have a little quantity of wall covering left over so he could do a patching job, so he doesn't have to redo the whole thing. So why do the following? I get the square footage number. Instead of using 3 feet by 4.5 feet, which is 13.5 square feet, I use 12 as my divisor. And I divide that 12 into the square footage number. Now, keep in mind, if you were to put a 12 over 13.5 and divide them into each other, in other words, 12 as the numerator, 13.5 as the bottom part, the divider, you'd get a number 0.888 into infinity, which would be the same as 11.1% into infinity. And this normally helps to make sure that your customer got more than enough. Remember, this material is a lot less expensive than having to bring a contractor out to redo a whole job. So it's cheap insurance, you might say. When you finally get your figure, your number for the yardage, you look at the samples I will send you, and if they're from samples, and you won't know this unless you ask me, perhaps, I would say most of the time, what I sell is wall covering that is normally sold in 30 lineal yard bolts, like these. These are lineal yard bolts behind me. And they're shipped this way in either plastic or they could be in a box for their protection. They go UPS, they can go by truck. You also have to know if the material is going to be a lightweight material, which we call a type 1, or a heavier weight material, which is called a type 2. These are normally governed by various specifications and you might say conventions or ways of acknowledged measurement that the whole vinyl industry and architectural industry, I should say, agrees upon to be type 1 and type 2. Generally speaking, they're governed by CCC, this is a spec number, CCC W408A. Now, in the recent past, in the past 20 and 30 years, they've changed that a little bit. A became B, C, etc. But for your purposes of just measuring, CCC W408A is pretty much what we follow. And that will give you the flame spread and the smoke spread. And they have to be Class A's to be considered to be an architectural product. The type 1s are generally lighter weight materials. Their highest weight is normally 18 ounces, generally speaking 15
to 16 ounces per lineal yard. You would round that 51 yards up to 60 yards, and that's how the order would be. Finally, we will place the order. We'll tell you whether the stock is good, whether there's a back order, and how it will come to you. And obviously, at that particular time, we would settle up in regard to the payment, in regard to a check or a PayPal payment on a credit card. Thank you very much for listening to me. Any questions, call me at 1-800-535-9513.